What's going on, guys? We're going to do a little midday recap as we just approach lunchtime here for the NASDAQ futures market here in the New York session. Now, we're currently, not really too big green or too big of a red day today in terms of what the overall market's doing. We're up about 0.25%, up about a quarter there, and 62 points on the day. Now, today provided a really good opportunity right off the open to get long on momentum. So coming off of the NVIDIA earnings, we've seen a little bit of a sell-off, and then towards the market open today, looking at NVIDIA, looking at the NASDAQ futures, I was starting to notice something here as we were approaching this level of supply. Now, this level of supply that we're looking at here is the linear regression channel 50. It's an indicator that I use on Thinkorswim. Now, I do all my charting, even for trading futures prop firms, on Thinkorswim because I trade options and run a portfolio account for my personal account inside of Charles Schwab. So with that being said, right off the open, I see NVIDIA start to explode. And not only at the same time do I see that, I'm analyzing the NASDAQ futures chart here. I'm looking at a ton of support. Some of the support that I was looking at all the way down here at the bottom, we have the 200 moving average. We've got 100 moving average. We've got the 50 EMA SMA. We've got the 20 SMA. There was a lot of support on this area. So for me personally, I trade from supply to supply and demand to demand. So if we are above demand, I am not looking to short the markets. In order for me to have gotten short or wanted to get short today, the market was going to need to break and hold below 23,598. If that did not happen, I have to be thinking long. And because NVIDIA was exploding off the open, this candle was over 100 points large. I'm not looking for 100 points. I'm looking for 10 points, for 15 points, for 20 points if I can get lucky. A lot of times my scalps are between, right now it's about 8 to 12 points. Immediately jump in. We go in with two mini contracts here on this momentum and snag like 13 points, right? So did I capture the whole move? Absolutely not. As a trader, you need to become extremely comfortable with not trying to catch the whole move. A lot of times traders are trying to catch the whole move. They're really trying to, beat themselves up when they get into a particular trade and they feel like, oh man, well, I got out too early. What do I do? Guys, there was multiple people inside of my community at Evolution Traders, a handful of them, half a dozen people who a little bit more risk tolerant, I should say, who seen the momentum, jumped in on the play, made $300, made $400, made $200, and just pretty much said, hey, where can I go where I can make a few $100s in less than a minute, less than 2 minutes? There's not a lot of places, not a lot of things we can do to make that kind of money that quickly. And when you run into those situations where everything just kind of aligns, you trust your instincts, you trust your gut, you look at the technical analysis, you go with the right confluences, and you just actually put yourself on the line and accept the risk that comes with trading off the open, sometimes it works out. And when it works out, it gives you a beautiful day where you can just walk away. Some of the reasons that, also to take this trade, I mean, if I look at the intermediate supports over the 5 and 10 day moving averages, a lot of people will wonder, well, when the candles are that big and you're talking about the range being down here 100 points away for, last level of support, where do you put your stop loss? That's going to be dependent on what time frame you're trading. So if you're trading the 1 minute time frame, you can do something like any candle that closes below a previous candle low or below a 2 candles previous low. If you use the 5 minute time frame, I like to use something kind of concrete. I say, if I get in on this candle and it does not go in my favor, and the candle that I enter in on closes below the previous 5 minute candle or closes below a 5 or 10 day moving average, I get out of the trade. So sometimes that might be risking 10 points, 15 points, 5 points. Sometimes it's 30 or 35 points. Again, assess the risk before you take the trade. That's going to kind of help you with your take profits as well. A lot of times what I see traders do is they set this big extravagant take profit where I want 35 points, 55 points, 100 points, and they're trying to keep their stop loss at 2 points. Doesn't make any sense to me. Analyze how much risk you're giving up on this one particular trade, and then you enter into the market. Now, with that being said, we had a very aggressive sell-off. If you guys were watching NVIDIA this morning, NVIDIA actually sold all the way off to where even before it started, and so did the NASDAQ 100. Look at the NASDAQ 100 after this 100-point candle started to roll over here for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes into what, guys? That 200-day moving average on your 5-minute time frame. This is a 200 SMA. Look at what happens off of this 200 SMA. It gets a very, very nice bounce with a strong wick. No confirmation to the downside, no rejection and continuation of lows. This was your indicator in this zone between 10 a.m. Eastern and around 10:30 Eastern is when you would want to build that long position back up, seeing that we back tested this 200 SMA support. Remember, 20, 50, 200 SMAs. You don't have to run all of the SMAs that I'm running on my chart. If you just run those 3 simple moving averages, you're going to see the chart very, very clearly. If you want to learn how I'm using this chart, how I'm particularly trading, using different strategies to scalp and hold some longer trades, definitely join Evolution Traders. That link is down in the description box below. Also, day traders, 90% off. You guys can use my code DAnthony. Apex, 90% off. You can use my code DAnthony. Both of those links are down in the description box below. I will see you guys on the next video.